right? Hi, everybody. Welcome to Ask Andrea. We're going to be here for about 45 minutes or so. People had sent in about 70 questions, right? So I'm going to try and get to as many as I can. But I obviously cannot get to all these questions because in 45 minutes, that would be like 10 seconds a question or something like that. So I just want to make sure that you guys are all, you can see me, you can hear me. Yes, of course. I'm sure you can see me and hear me. So I'm going to be these questions came into my website. So on my website, www.andreabeeman.com, there's a section called Ask Andrea on the side. And people send in their questions, and I answer them. So, like I said, we're going to get to as many as we can. And then if we have a little bit of time left over, I'll answer your questions if you guys have questions coming in. So, here is the first question. Came in from Gloria. And Gloria says, "Hi, Andrea. I'm a fellow IIN grad, and I appreciate you so much." Well, thanks, Gloria. She said, "Thank you for always inspiring and educating. I have a health concern of my own that's weighing on me. I went through menopause at 30 due to a crisis birthing situation. The baby was and is fantastic." That's wonderful. "I'm now 52 and I have osteoporosis. I did take a few types of the medications." Let me see if I can read it from my computer instead. Oh, I'll get to that. The other 70 questions in just a sec. She said, "I did take a few types of medications. They all have been so hard on my body. My last scan shows improvement except in 1, 2, 3. They are 3.7. I don't exactly know what that means. It's time for another injection, and I'm thinking of going rogue. I eat great and take many supplements and do weight-bearing exercises. Of course, the medical doc says without it, my future is grim, but I feel great. My gut says go natural. What are your thoughts? Do you suggest a protocol? Thank you for taking my question." The shot is Prolia. Okay, so you had a baby, right? And it was a tough birth. And, you know, thankfully your baby came out beautiful and happy and healthy and all that stuff. And so one thing that happens when you have a baby is the baby takes all of the deep nutrition. You know, like babies are cute and they're wonderful and they're precious little pumpkins, right? What they do, they take your deep nutrition, right? So you have to reincorporate minerals, more fats, more proteins, you know, like stocks. Like whenever somebody has a baby, I always tell them to have bone stocks. You know, it's just start having it, right? So your bones are breaking down, which means that you're not absorbing on a deep level. So something happened. Either you haven't resupplied your body with the nutrition that it needs, or you're just not getting enough fat to help you absorb the fat-soluble vitamins that will help you absorb more of the calcium and other minerals that you need, right? So the weight-bearing exercises are great. I think that's fantastic. You're doing great. Hi, it's Esty. You know, you're on the road to recovery. Stacey says, "I'm 62 and I've had Hashimoto since I was 15. I also have chronic pain that, although everyone tells me is fine with synthroid, I know my pain is coming from that. I'm starting yet another gluten-free, sugar-free, dairy-free diet. What should I eat? How do I negotiate this? I also prefer to eat as close to vegetarian as I can, as my partner is a strict vegetarian, but I don't seem to be able to tolerate tofu or beans." Okay, so this is a big problem right here. If you and your partner are strict vegetarians and you don't tolerate tofu and beans, you know, I'm going to be the one to tell you that I'm very sorry. You're in the wrong diet, right? So vegetarians by nature need their protein. They need their beans and their tofu and all that stuff. So if you're not able to tolerate protein, the beans and tofu, then vegetarianism is not for you. And your body's showing a deficiency, right? So if your body shows a deficiency, you're on the wrong diet. Oh, Christina, she says, "I'm loving your Master Healers class." Oh, good. I'm glad. That's one of our favorite classes, you know, because we get to talk about the body in a much deeper way, you know, like all the different systems and how they connect. But I digress. All right, let me get to these 70 questions that came in. Okay, so Catherine says, "How does a Candida diet affect herpes breakouts? I see lots of nuts, etc., that I'm supposed to avoid. Actually, if you go to my website, andreabeeman.com, Google Candida, and you'll see. But what you have an enteric nervous system, right? So herpes, lovely little herpes, you get the herpes virus, and it stays with you forever, just like every virus, right? You got it, it's there. So a lot of times when you're under stress, it affects the nervous system. Enteric nervous system, your entire nervous system, right? So one of the keys, it's not necessarily Candida diet, it's more that you have to relieve the stress and you have to heal that ileocecal valve, right, to get your digestive system functioning well. So, I talk about that in that post. But, like with a herpes breakout, right, you're seeing that you have to avoid nuts and all that stuff. It's because you can't process them. You can't digest them properly, right? So you have to heal the gut when you're on a Candida diet. It's not just eliminating foods. And you also have to calm the nervous system, both the enteric nervous system and your entire nervous system, so that you're not getting these herpes breakouts all the time. Herpes is a virus, and viruses love specific proteins, and they love to hang around and cause trouble, right? But many people live with the herpes virus, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, there's like 11 herpes viruses. They live with it, and their immune system is strong, so it doesn't really pop up all that much, right? Their body keeps it in check. So when the immune system is down, when the nervous system is on edge, right, it's gonna throw everything out of whack. Okay. Hi, Tara. She says you're amazing. Hormones, how can I fix them when they go wrong? Well, you got to look at your liver, sister. Christina says, I need your spring liver cleanse that you talked about in one of your coaching calls. I sent you an email, but I didn't get anything. Oh, yeah, send it to Stephanie at AndreaBeeman.com because we actually sent it out. If you were in the New Healers class, you got that. I guess it was 2 weeks ago. So send a message to Stephanie at AndreaBeeman.com. She sent all that stuff to you guys. So double check you, maybe in spam. Lord have mercy, that little spam folder. Okay, so Lizzie says, and these came in from Ask Andrea. For those of you that are just hopping on, thanks, Valerie. For those of you that are just hopping on, these 70 questions came into my Ask Andrea on my website. If you go to my website, AndreaBeeman.com, on the side, there's an Ask Andrea, and I do this once per month. People send in their billion, trillion questions, and I go through them and get to as many as I humanly can, and then I'll scroll through and I'll get to some of the questions that you guys have as well. Because you're here. You're here, you might as well get talked to, get some answers, right? Okay, so Lizzie says, I'm pregnant for the first time and I take synthroid and liothyroxine. I think you might have meant to say levothyroxine, I'm not sure. For hypothyroid, I'm also gaining weight at an unhealthy rate. Can I heal my thyroid and get off the medication while pregnant? And what do I do about my crazy weight gain? Okay, so one of the things is, like I was talking about earlier, when you're pregnant, you really have to increase your good quality fats and your proteins because you're building an entire little skeleton inside your body. So there was a study that came out that said that people taking, you don't have to, it's not a matter of taking the synthroid and staying on the synthroid when you're pregnant. It's usable iodine, right? Because the iodine is helping to build, it's supporting the thyroid and helping to build that little body. So you want to actually support your thyroid, and then naturally your medication will have to be lowered, like you check in with your doctor. So my gosh, you should come and do my my nourishing thyroid class. It starts next week. Okay, so Jacqueline says, I'm ready to wean myself off of levothyroxine. I'm ready to do it. Great, Jacqueline. Follow all my instructions, either in my book, Happy Healthy Thyroid, or hop on with me for the next 4 months in the Nourishing Thyroid Health Program, and you'll be off in no time. Azadeh says, a client of mine is struggling with depression. Right? That's not uncommon these days. Client of mine is struggling with depression, worse before her period. That's very telling. She has a family history of mental illness, so it's something she was born with. What would you recommend her to nourish? The liver, the kidney, a cleanse maybe? Do you have a webinar on mental disorders, depression coming up? I can imagine it would be in high demand. Yeah, you're right about that. I'm making a little mental note. Depression webinar. Depression webinar. Especially with what's going on in the world today, right? People are like, oh, I can't be in the world with all this craziness, you know? And it is crazy. It's always crazy. Human beings have been out of their minds for quite a long time. So there's going to be depression. There's going to be anxiety. There's going to be unstable everything, right? And we're going to feel it. So for depression, and worse before her period, this is indicating potentially a liver blood deficiency. So you need to nourish her blood, meaning nourish her kidneys, because the kidneys are supporting the liver, right? Every organ is supporting every organ, right? You can't really get around that stuff, right? You got to have this one's feeding this one, right? You have this whole body that's working in beautiful harmony. So the kidneys are specifically nourishing the yin and feeding the blood, getting blood to where it needs to go, right? So if she's more depressed during a period, you got to support her kidneys, actually. So you're very smart, right? You said the kidneys, you support her kidneys and you support her liver, right? They're going to go in harmony with each other. As well as get her outside, suffering from depression, get her outside, find something fun to do, because Lord have mercy, if you're going through this world and this life, right, and I'm pointing outside, that's a window, right? If you're going through this world and this life and you don't have anything that you look forward to, or you don't have something that excites you, or you don't have good relationships, right, with yourself and with the people in your life and with food, right? If that's all lacking, there's going to be a deficiency, boom, you're going to go into a depression, right? Depressive state, sinking down. So you want to be lifted up. So for this person, tell them to take a class. Get them out of their head and get into a pottery class, medicine making, for all the crazy herbalists and health people out there. Go into a... singing, oh my gosh, because this area is responsible for your ability, your strength, your fortitude, right? I can do it, I can get through this world and this life, right? So singing actually helps to strengthen this third chakra here. So get her into a singing class, and she may be like, singing, I have no desire to sing, but get her singing. Get her, right? Even doing the scales, la 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 la. People who sing in the shower, happy people. I'm just saying. Okay. Anne says, I'm reading through all of your books and I love them. Oh, thanks, Anne. I loved writing them. So I'm happy you're oh, thanks, Mia. I'm reading through all of your books and I love them, and I wanted to ask you about grains. I love to bake with whole foods, but wasn't sure what I should look for regarding flours. How can I get the most nutritious, least refined, wholesome flours? I don't have a grain mill, so I'm hoping that's not the only way. Yeah, no, you don't need a grain mill. If you can, find a local producer near you, right? So like in New York, we have like Wild Hive, they have like polenta, they have all these other grains and stuff. Try and find a local producer and use your grain flours. Like you can't get, it's really hard to get an unrefined grain flour because the process of turning it into flour refines it, right? So you have to be careful of that, just conscious of that. It's going to be refined. When you pull it out of the bag and you see that white fluffy powder, that's a refined product. So what you want to do is you want to make sure that when you get that flour home, you don't keep it in the flour pot, like that flour bag. No, because it's going to have more access to oxidation and it's going to go rancid more quickly. So put it into a glass jar, keep it in your cabinet, right? Not in a hot cabinet. You want a cool environment. And your grains, you want to, when you have flour grains, you want to use them up fairly quickly. You don't want them to sit around because they've been refined and they've had all this stuff removed. So they're more susceptible to rancidity. And bake me a cake, right? Bake me a cake or a little a little loaf of bread. I'd love it, right? Sour that dough, make a nice sourdough. My gosh, girl. Okay. So JB says, unfortunately, I didn't hear of you 15 years ago when I had radioactive iodine. That's the radiation, RAI, to destroy the thyroid, to control my Graves' disease. And now I've been hypothyroid. Yeah, because the RAI kills the thyroid. The radiation goes right there. Graves' disease, now I have hypothyroid. 8 months ago, I was diagnosed with MGUS, an increase in protein levels of unknown cause. They see an autoimmune level. I just dropped my pen. Because this happens all the time. All the time. In modern medicine, here's my beef with modern medicine. They're quick to destroy an organ or a gland or something in the body without looking deeper, right? So we know that Graves and Hashimoto's are autoimmune thyroid conditions. So why would you destroy the thyroid? Don't get me started. Don't get me started. You know, like if you have an autoimmune condition, what's going on inside the body? Is there a pathogen? Is there a rogue bacteria? Is the digestive system not functioning well? Are the adrenals stressed, right? Because anytime that your adrenals are overworking, right, and overstressed, you're going to have higher rates of autoimmune conditions happening all the time. So this stuff makes me angry, and I understand, you know, there must be, they're trying to help, right? So somebody suffering from Graves, quick, destroy the thyroid. It's sad, and I'm sorry. You know, I had the strength when, not the strength, I questioned, right? When they offered me RAI for my thyroid condition, I said, no, not for me. I'm going to try and do this naturally. And thankfully, I did. So, you know, you got to be very cautious. Question everything. Question everything that your doctor says. Question everything that I say. Question everything that you read on the internet. Question everything. And have it make sense to your own being. Meaning, you read it, or you feel it, or you hear it, and you go, that makes perfect sense to me. Because we are built with our own internal knowledge, intuition and knowledge, and healing system in our body, and we've been taught to shut it off for way too long now. So, but I digress. Again, I have 70 questions to get to, so let me get back before I go off on a tangent into the Netherlands. Okay, so she says they see an autoimmune condition that's showing up in the blood. This is the girl that had the Graves and the RAI. She says there's no symptoms and nothing to be done, which I think is a typical of conventional medicine, and it's why I'm getting in contact with you. Please advise. Yeah, so even though you had the RAI, support your digestive system, support your adrenals, support your stress, right? Make sure that you're reducing stress and relaxing as much as possible, because if you're not relaxed, you're going to continue to have more fighting inside your body. So, you know, you may want to pick up my book, Happy Healthy Thyroid. I think it's a great book. I know the author personally. I think she's fantastic. And she won't give you any bad information. She'll always tell you, oh my gosh, in every chapter I tell them, listen to yourself, right? Take the information and use what sounds good to you. Okay, so let me continue. So these questions, let's see this one here. I have them on my computer as well. This is from Fran. She says, I've had bursitis in my right hip for well over a year. My doctor wanted to give me a cortisone shot, but I think it's only a temporary fix. You're right, Fran. She says, I now use a stand-up desk at work, and it's helped tremendously, but the pain won't go away completely. Do you have any suggestions? Yeah, I do have some suggestions, right? So you want to get some softeners into your system. So like, when I say softeners, I mean like something like Marshmallow Root, something gooey, right? Something that's going to help you absorb better so that you're not stockpiling inside your body somewhere. You know, anytime you have an itis, you have inflammation, so you want to make sure that you're not eating foods that are causing so much inflammation in your body. Like eating foods in general causes inflammation. I'm going to tell you that right now, including eating antioxidants, which is the funniest thing in the world, right? They're like antioxidants. No, just the act of eating causes you to have inflammation and burning right inside the body, because you have to break down, your liver has to metabolize and break down all of the substances, right? So it's got to go through all these processes. So there's going to be some inflammation. But with the bursitis on the hip, specifically on the hip, you've got to look to the liver and the gallbladder, right? Because this is the gallbladder meridian, right? So if you're having energy that's getting inflamed and stuck in a specific area, you have to look at the meridians, right? Because your body is an energetic system. Not according to Western medicine, but according to ancient medicine, there's an energetic system. So bursitis in the hip, you're going to look to the gallbladder. What type of fats are you eating? Are you eating good quality fats? Does your liver need a cleanse, right? And that should help to clear some of that pain out of there, as well as doing exercise, like regular exercise, right? So you're using a stand-up desk now, because when you're sitting, guess what happens? Like I'm sitting right now, I have my legs crossed. So there is almost like an energetic block between the lower part of my body and the upper part of my body. So, you know, for me personally, I get out every day. Like today, it's New York City, it's pouring rain. I don't care. I'm going to go outside and take a walk in the park because I need to get my energetic body flowing and moving, because I sit all day at a computer. I'm very clear about that. So get moving, clear your liver and your gallbladder. I got cleanses on my website. You could look in the little microscope bar and you'll find something. Okay. So how we doing on time? How we doing? It's 1:20. We're good. How you guys doing? Oh, thanks, Rachel. You're a cutie. All right. Okay. So this question came in from Rebecca. She says, hi, I bought your thyroid book and I've been reading up. Smart girl. I've had a biopsy done on nodules and came back okay. Yes, because 90% of nodules are not malignant, right? 90% of nodules are benign. So they're doing, thyroidectomy was getting so popular over the last few years. Slow down. Slow down. Everybody take a chill pill, relax. When it comes to your organs and your glands and everything, just chill out for a minute. You said, my blood work comes up fine, but I feel like my thyroid and my hormones are not right. Rebecca, you should have been on my webinar last night. Because if you're feeling that your thyroid and your hormones are not right, guess what? That has not too much to do with your thyroid. It has to do with your liver. I'm now having cystic acne on my neck, right? So this is lymphatic system, cystic acne on my neck, as well as the connection between the liver and the lymphatic system, which is strange to me. They scar for a few months, then they disappear. Is this a thyroid issue, a hormonal issue, and what do I need to do to fix it? Doctors are blowing it off to everyone. Gets them at some point, and I don't believe, said everyone gets them at some point, and I don't believe it. I have lots of things going on. The past year I had colitis. Okay, this is a good indicator right here. You have inflammation in the intestines, right? So you're not absorbing, you're not digesting. And I'm getting cysts in my ovary, and my periods are not right. Blood color is off, lots of clotting. Again, we're looking to the liver. I would suggest that, because the liver is responsible for the blood with the periods, get into an acupuncturist office, get pricked around and get everything you need to get. Cyst on the ovary, so you're building internally. Blood color is off. Migraine headaches when I'm menstruating. So this is a huge sign. This is a huge sign that the liver is actually not functioning well. So in Western medicine, and when I say not functioning well, take that with a grain of salt. I mean, like, you're alive. Fantastic, right? So from there, your body's having all of these little indicators. So in Western medicine, they can diagnose disease when disease is present, meaning hepatitis, right, finally shows up, or liver cancer finally shows up, right? It shows up in the blood. But throughout the years, your body's giving you little signals. So from what you wrote to me right here, it's showing that there's a lot of liver either stagnation going on, right? You're getting all this clotting. Your blood isn't right. You're building cysts. You got nodules. So there is this process of detoxification that happens in the body, and if your liver is congested in any way with excess hormone, it's not breaking it down, it's not putting it back out through the urinary bladder system, right? Because you got to break down the fat-soluble hormones and the water-soluble hormones and all that, and get that through the urinary bladder system as well as through the digestive system, as well as all the cholesterol, right? Going out. So I would get into the hands of a good acupuncturist. I would probably do a liver cleanse, but a good liver cleanse, not like a fake one. Right? And she says, any ideas where to start? She's turning 40 and she feels horrible. Okay, 40 is young, right? 40 is young. You want to get to 80 and say, okay, yeah, maybe I'm going to slow down a little bit. 75 and go, oh yeah, I'm all achy and cracky, right? But right now you're still young. Like 40 is young. Even 70 is young, It's but I digress again. Okay. Hold on, I'm going to get to your questions after I finish these questions. I know, Connie, I like Connie. Connie's always on stuff. Connie says, I have one kidney, no spleen, half a pancreas, and half a diaphragm, and I lost 3/4 of my colon. Will it still be safe for me to do a liver or a kidney cleanse? Gentle, like no strong cleanses. Don't do a gallbladder flush. Don't do any of those really strong ones that throw your body into, by the way, congratulations on still being alive, but half a kidney and half a spleen and all this stuff going on. My gosh, you're a strong lady. Connie, you are strong, like a bull, right? Gentle cleanses. So, a gentle cleanse is, you get like some nice herbs. You do an herb tea, because herbs and teas are generally gentle. We've been using them for a long time. So like, a simple, gentle kidney cleanse tea is something like parsley, your parsley that you get in the store, right? Parsley, it's great for the kidneys. It's a wonderful kidney cleanse. Put it on all your food. You know, for people that have actually high blood pressure, which may not be what you have going on, but parsley tea, right? Just parsley chopped up, steeped in water, drink the tea. So there's a lot of stuff right in your kitchen that is not dangerous, except if you get the knives and you start smashing around people and cutting everybody to pieces. Okay, so I see lots of questions coming in, but I still got to get to these. Okay. So this gal says, hi, I was diagnosed with hypothyroid in 2014. My TSH, I weigh 56 kilograms. Her name is Blossom. Currently, it is 74. I started with homeopathy and taking care of my food habits. I'm an active dancer. My libido is affected and I get fatigued once in 15 days. So mid-cycle, she's getting fatigued. Little hair fall with dry skin. My periods are fine. I don't feel that tired all the time. I want to know how I can cure myself naturally. Okay, so just by, like you say that you're an active dancer. So I've had lots of dancers and athletes, actually, professional athletes. And one of the things that happens is when you're focused on the physical body, and I don't know if you're doing this, but you may, there's a tendency to take out the fats, right? Because the idea, the old idea of the fats will make you fat is still pervasive in our society. Oh, Connie says, no gallbladder either. Thank you. I'm grateful. Yeah, Connie, my gosh. I'm sending you a big hug. You're like, they should bottle you. Take some of your cells and bottle you. You're still here with all that stuff going on. My gosh, God bless you. Okay, and still learning, right? So you're still here and you're still learning and still trying to do stuff. That's the key right there. You just keep going. You just keep going because you're here on the planet, right? And remember, with all that stuff missing and gone, just be gentle. Always gentle stuff. Nothing harsh. Nothing too. Somebody put in hormonal acne advice, please. Yeah, that's hormonal. You hit the nail on the head, right? Hormonal. Look to the liver. Okay. So this gal here, as a dancer, I'm going to say, I don't know what she's eating, but I'm going to tell her, start to have some fats, good quality fats. Maggie says, I'm 63, I'm healthy, I eat well, and I'm active, and I'm at my ideal weight. But as long as I can remember, I've had bags under my eyes and allergies. I've watched your visual diagnosis, and you mentioned that dark under eyes points to liver or kidneys. I don't drink or smoke, and I feel great. What's up? What should I do? Just live with it? It depends. Like sometimes dark under the eyes can indicate a little too much salt or an inability to clear in the colon. So that's something to look at until we look at your whole entire diet and lifestyle. And also some people are born with dark under the eyes. So like if you look at Middle Eastern people, a lot of them, the dark under the eyes, right? And around the eyes, they have dark shade. So sometimes that can come from too much spice and too much salt. So that's something to be conscious of. Look at your diet and see what's going on. Sonia says, I have bought fluoride-free toothpaste. Will using this make me more prone to cavities? No, that's not gonna make you prone to cavities. That's one of the biggest myths in the whole universe. Do you go to a regular dentist? What does your daily dental routine consist of? Any favorite brands or products? Should I say no to routine x-rays? She says, you are the real deal. That's funny. X-rays are interesting. We have a lot of technology now that you don't need an x-ray, right? There's a lot of technology. Like you remember the x-rays that they would do for the teeth when, I remember when I was growing up, you'd go to the dentist and they would put this like 50-pound weight on your chest when you were sitting in the dentist chair, like plonk, and you'd be like, oh my God. And, that was to protect your heart and your lungs and hear from the ionizing radiation that comes from those machines, right? So the one thing that was exposed was this and your brain, right? So that's a problem. Now they have the ones that come up to here. So, I would suggest go to a biological dentist. So look up online, biological dentist, and they will be able to help you. I'm not a dentist, but go to I look like one, right? No, just kidding. Okay, so Denise says, I'm 50, but my skin looks older. It's dry with deep wrinkles and some brown spots on my cheeks. Brown spots, too much sugar and ability to process sugar. She says, I also have dandruff from ear to ear, which is dry. I have a healthy diet, very little sugar. Well, something's turning to sugar in the system. Something's coming up. Something's affecting the liver, and it's releasing that glycogen, right? She said, I also have Hashimoto's. Any suggestions? Right, so she's not processing properly. She's not digesting properly. So one of the keys for you is to look at your ability to digest, your gallbladder's health, whether or not you're producing enough bile so that you can start to process your food better, your fats, your everything. So like something that I like to do is use a little bitters. You know, before meals, maybe 15 minutes before meals. You can get it at any health food store. Oh, look at this. I have this one right here. Better bitters. I'm going to have lunch right after this, so let me get prepared. That was horrible. Oh, Lord have mercy. Okay. Okay, so the next question came in from Amy, and she says, curious about liver function and other health issues. I personally suffer from Hashimoto's, hypothyroid, and leaky gut. That's a lot of stuff. But my husband suffers from retinitis pigmentosus, so we are trying to keep him as healthy as possible and to slow down the disease. He has been dealing, but a bloated stomach almost daily after eating. Oh, this would be perfect. And worry that perhaps the liver could be an issue. Yes, you're correct. Anything to do to help slow down the progression of his RP? Yeah, for you both, right? Because you have hypothyroidism, Hashimoto's, and leaky gut, right? So you have to look at the liver because the liver's in that beginning process of the digestive system. I would say start with some bitters, it's a cholagogue, right? So everything in here is going to promote the production of bile. Oh, and this one actually has absinthe in it as well. This one has wormwood, which helps to kill rogue bacteria. Anise, which helps to warm the digestive system. What else does it have in here? Hyssop, lemon balm. Oh, so this one actually has lemon balm. So for those of you that have hypothyroid, this one won't be a good one for you, right? Because lemon balm actually slows or can slow the thyroid hormone because it inhibits the uptake of the conversion of the T4 to the T3. So there's a ton of other bitters that don't contain lemon balm, so this one wouldn't be for you. Okay, let's see. Gloria says, hi, Andrea, I'm a fellow grad. Oh, no, I already got to that one. Nicole says, what kind of pots and pans do you recommend for cooking? Whatever you got, Nicole. If you got pots and pans in your kitchen right now, use them, right? So that's what I recommend for cooking. I don't recommend the non-stick pans because they have the PFOA, which it's an endocrine disruptor, so not only affects the thyroid, but the entire endocrine system. So I personally use stainless steel. You know, and if people say, what about the steel leaching in? I don't use metal on my pots and pans, right? I use either wood or plastic on the pots and pans. I don't scrape. Let's see. This one. Got that one. Oh, so here's one from Natalie. Oh, yeah, and I'll get to some of these. Let me just get to the ones that came into my website first. I'll save 15 minutes to scroll through and just get to you guys' stuff. Natalie says, I'm 50 years old and I'm on tamoxifen for breast cancer. This has put me into menopause. I'm suffering with constipation. I have a very hard time losing weight, even when I'm eating a very clean diet. I've tried everything for the constipation, and nothing seems to work. Any suggestions? Yeah. So for constipation, first and foremost, you have to take a daily walk. Because your intestines, right, you have this peristaltic muscle contraction that happens in the intestines. And if you don't take a daily walk, right, this is going to be, right, we have muscles everywhere. You got it, right? So inside, outside, everybody's always focused on the outside muscles, but your inside muscles, a daily walk actually stimulates peristalsis, right? That's the muscle contraction in the intestines. I would also suggest getting a stomach massage. In shiatsu, they actually do stomach massage, and they'll help to move things around. But also, you've got to support your liver, right? You got to be squirting some bile into that digestive system. You got to make sure your hydrochloric acid is good. And you also have to make sure that your large intestine is functioning well. So you need water, right? You have to have a lot of water and good quality fats, right? Think of fat as a lubricant, right? Kind of lubes the inside tube and makes everything flow nicely. So if you're eating a no-fat diet or a low-fat diet, it's not so good. But also, when there's constipation, you have to look at, on the emotional level, what am I not letting go of? And usually it's in connection to first chakra, which is your direct connect to the family. So what am I not letting go of? What do I need to release that no longer serves me from my family unit? And how can I have more ease in my life, right? Literally, some ease, right? You don't want to get in there and strain. So those are some things to look at and check out. Okay, so Denise says, I eat gluten-free and dairy-free and eat mostly fruits and vegetables. Okay. So, but my goiter has not decreased and my voice is getting raspy. I've also gained 10 pounds. I don't want to go on Synthroid. What's my next step? Okay, so gluten-free, dairy-free, and this is a classic example, right? So somebody their thyroid's getting out of whack or their digestive system's out of whack, and they just eat fruits and vegetables or take on a vegan diet or something like that, and it's still not working, right? So that means that your lymphatic system, you need to look at the lymphatic system. Why is the things not moving through, right? What's going on? But also, maybe you're not on the right diet. So gluten-free, dairy-free, that's not going to heal anything, right? Just because you take something out of your diet, you're not actually healing anything. So this is why people, like, you'll see them 20 years, right? I can't eat this, I can't eat that, I can't eat this. They can't even, one little grain of something and boom, they have an explosion in their body. It's because the digestive system is not working well. So a goiter, right? You're not absorbing iodine properly. So like a lot of people will say to me, should I take iodine supplements and should I take iodine this for my goiter? No, I don't recommend that at all. First, you need to heal the digestive system and maybe eat some iodine-rich foods, right? Capers, seaweed, which also helps to heal and support the digestive system because it's mucilaginous. There's lots of stuff that you can do. Eugenia, let's say Eugenia says, is activated charcoal carcinogenic? Would you recommend it for cleaning your body, especially to get rid of mercury? If it is carcinogenic, what are the best ways to clean your body to get rid of mercury? Oh, that's funny. Not necessarily, no. Activated charcoal is not carcinogenic. Your body's going to utilize it. It's going to draw to it, the toxins that it needs to get out of your system, and you're going to poop it out, right? So to get rid of mercury, I would actually increase the amount of cilantro in your diet, the amount of leafy green vegetables, but also you have to be careful of where, a lot of times what is that called? Fertilizer, right? The fertilizers that they put on foods can actually have high levels of mercury, to grow the foods, high levels of mercury, high levels of arsenic, high levels of other toxic stuff that we don't want in the system. So make sure you're getting locally sourced from somebody who knows, who's putting good quality stuff into their soil. And also lower on the food chain with fish, because the higher up you go on the food chain with fish, the more mercury. Also to get rid of mercury, it's, if you have mercury in your mouth, you want to go to a good biological dentist. Like for me, I probably have miso soup maybe once or twice a week. I throw in some seaweed. I know that the seaweed actually binds with the mercury too and helps to excrete it as well. So that's something to think about. Ella says, hi Andrea, personal question here. How much itching, vaginal itching, is normal, and when does it become a probable yeast infection? Here and there, throughout the days, or never at all? When you've got a yeast infection. you know it. The itching is, there's nothing like it in the world, And then, of course, you're getting a ton of discharge as well. Now, you could have some vaginal itching that is not a yeast infection, but your bacteria could be out of balance. So you want to balance that as much as you can. Okay, so, and, you know, try some cranberry juice and maybe take some black walnut hull or something to balance out any rogue bacteria. Anne says, "Hi, Andrea, I have a white patch on my tongue for a few years. It went away a few times, but it comes back. It doesn't hurt, and it isn't raised, but it does go back and forth between being stark white and very light. It's just one patch in the middle of my tongue at the front." And by the way, for those of you that are wondering, these questions came into my website, right? They came in to my website, so that's what I'm answering, and then I'll get to your questions. It's just one patch in the middle of my tongue at the front. Parts of it are whiter than others. I thought it was Candida, but I'm just not sure. My dentist isn't sure either. Any ideas? Okay, so a white patch generally can show a fungal infection. So my go-to for fungal infections and to help get your system functioning well is black walnut. I love it. You know, it's great with Candida. It's great with fungal infections. Your digestive system is out of balance, right? Because your mouth and your tongue, right? This is showing the condition of your digestive system, because this is the beginning of the digestive system and this is the end of the digestive system. It's one long tube, right? So what goes in here and then what's happening in here, you're going to see on either side, right? So for you, you're getting a white patch, so generally it can indicate a fungal infection. Okay, so let's see how many more. My gosh, what time is it? 1:41. Okay, I'm going to take a few more here, and then I'll take one or two from here. Let's see what we got. So I'll start in the beginning there, but let's see. No. Noreen says, "I'm hypothyroid and I feel good, but weight gain is happening even though I exercise every day and eat very good foods. Can I eat steamed vegetables for lunch, 2 cups, and raw apples or strawberries? I was eating all raw veggies and not working." Yeah. No, with hypothyroid, right? It's a cold condition in the body generally. So guess what? All the raw foods that you're eating, it's doing the opposite. It's cooling down your system even more, and it's going to slow all your processes. So yeah, that's not the right diet for you. Soups, stews, have a salad for sure, but every day raw vegetables, you're not doing yourself a service, right? And you're gaining weight, so you're cooling down your digestive fire, right? You don't even need thyroid condition to do that. When you cool down your digestive fire, you're not going to absorb, and you're going to start to gain weight. Okay. Vaishali says, "Hi, Andrea. I'm loving this course very much." Oh, you must be in my New Healers course. "I learned a lot. I'm vegetarian, struggling with weight loss issues, hypertension, insomnia, fatigue. Find difficulty in avoiding tea and coffee." Yeah, because you're so tired. "And you find that your solar plexus and third eye are not balanced. Your view on paralysis, joint pain, health, vision. Thank you, Vaishali." Vaishali, that's a question you bring to the coaching call. Right? You bring it to the coaching call because you got me one-on-one, right? So you bring that question to the coaching call. I'd be happy to answer all that for you. I think your next coaching call is either next week or the week after. Because, I'll give you more in-depth than I can give on this, this live feed here. Eileen says, "Months of sleeplessness that come with menopause, age 50 and over." Yeah, this is showing a kidney deficiency. When you can't sleep, there's a kidney deficiency, an underlying kidney deficiency. And you're age 50 and over, right? So the body's in a state of depletion. So I would do definitely do some some adaptogenic herbs, maybe some ashwagandha with some fat, right? Something to support your kidney element, get you sleeping through the night. Carolyn says, "Urinary incontinence, is it tied to thyroid or is there some other underlying issue?" Urinary incontinence is actually, let's talk about kidneys, right? It's actually tied to a weakened bladder, right? So that can happen with any disease. It can happen when you are, you're just not getting the nutrition that you need, or you're not getting the exercise that you need, or your bladder has dropped. So a lot of times women's bladders will drop. Right? So they'll sneeze and boom, it happens after you lose your hormones. The hormones start to decrease, right? Hormones holding everything in place, right? And then we get a sinking that happens, and so the bladder will drop in a lot of women. So there are some exercises that you can do to strengthen the bladder. You know, like you could do Kegel exercises that strengthens the you know, right it's going to strengthen that little muscle right there. You guys know what I'm talking about. For those of you that have have a vagina, right? Oh, I said the word. Am I going to get banned off Facebook? I don't think so. So you want to do some exercises. I would also put in some toning and astringing herbs, hibiscus, and foods, right? So hibiscus tea, classic. That's classic. It's that bright red tea. I mean, it's beautiful. It's delicious. It's going to help to astringent tone. Red raspberry leaf, right? So it's not only toning to the uterus, but it's toning to the bladder, right? So red raspberry leaf is something that's been used, I don't know, for how long with women who are pregnant and they can't hold their urine and all that stuff. So start with that stuff. Teresa says, is there a thyroid connection to rosacea, or do you feel it's gut biome related? Rosacea is liver heat rising, okay? So it can be, it's not really connected to thyroid, it's liver heat rising and also the lungs' inability to clear, right? So the lungs present through the skin. So like when you see somebody that has a cold, right? They get this red in the cheeks, right? This area. So this is connected to your lungs. So if you're getting rosacea on your cheeks, your lungs are inflamed and there is an inability to clear. So that's not necessarily related to thyroid, right? Everybody wants to blame the thyroid, right? Thyroid is the gland of the century that's causing everybody's troubles, right? Oh, you're gaining weight? Thyroid. Oh, you got urinary incontinence? Thyroid. Oh, you can't sleep at night? Thyroid. Dry skin? Thyroid. Hair falling out? Thyroid, right? So I think that is to just sell medication, to be honest with you. We just name it, right? We name it thyroid disease. But there's lots of other processes and organ systems that are involved when these physical things start to happen in the body, right? So that's something to keep in mind. And then the last question here, and then I'll get to your questions there. Andrea says, I have a question about kale. I love to eat kale every day. Okay, already that's a problem. That's already a problem. I have thyroid nodules. The T4 and T3 numbers are fine. I would like to find if eating kale or others can affect the thyroid. Okay, so here's my thought to you. Andrea, wherever you live, there's going to be foods that grow within each season, right? So every food has its star moment, right? In the 80s, it was blueberries. 90s it was broccoli, right? Spinach I think was in the 70s or 60s, right? They all have their star moment. And right now it's kale, right? Although kale is losing its luster a little bit. So I'm going to suggest that eating kale every single day may be good initially, but in the long term it can upset the balance in your body. So where do you live? Take a look at where do you live, what's growing near you, so, what's available, what other foods are available, right? There's got to be other foods available for you to eat. Go to a local farmer's market. What's in the market? Is it every single stand has kale? No, right? And so you got to rotate your diet and widen out your diet, right? Because if you have this constrictive diet with just one or two things that you're eating over and over and over again, then that's going to be a huge problem, right? Your body's going to actually create sensitivities, right? You're going to get sensitivities to things because humans, we're with the cycles of nature. So in the spring, in the fall, in the summer, in the winter, right? Things are always changing. We have to go with that flow. Otherwise, we're going to start to, what's the word? Disconnect. We're not going to function properly, right? We're here on this planet, this awesome freaking planet. Right, here we are, and the planet provides certain things at certain times of the year, in certain seasons, right? Provides things for us naturally. And so we have to look and say, okay, what is the planet providing now? So now it's springtime. We get all these little sprouts popping up. We got roots that have been underground since last year, right? We got, scallions. I just was in Central Park the other day. This little onion grass popping up everywhere. But guess what? I didn't see any kale. Nope. I didn't see a kale. I didn't see any strawberries. Nope. They'll be out maybe in July. Right? So that's something to keep in mind as well. Okay. So I got to a lot of these questions, and now I'm going to get to your questions, and then I think we're good to go. Okay, so let's see what we got here. Hi, Francis. Okay, Alejandra says, thank you so much. My cousin's daughter, 9 years old, has frequent pruritus on her genital area, especially at night. Is there any natural way to help? I don't know what pruritus is. P-R-U-R. Let me see if I can pull it up. I don't know what it is. So I don't want to give you a wrong answer. Let's see. Severe itching of the skin, a symptom of various ailments. Okay, so where it's located, right, on the vagina. So I'm going to venture to say, and I can't give any medical advice, but I'm going to venture to say that something that she's drinking and urinating out is irritating the skin in that area. So severe itching of the skin. So you may want to actually, cranberry juice would be great, you know, classic, and see what happens. You could also try some aloe juice and see what happens. You know, aloe vera liquid and see what happens. But something in the urine is aggravating that area. Because it's specific to that area. It's not itching all over the body, right? It's not eczema, it's not psoriasis, it's not, right? It's just a specific area that's having itching. So what else happens down there? Also, keep in mind that when she wipes, she's got to wipe from front to back. Like, you know, I hope that she was taught this, to wipe from front to back, because if she wipes from back to front, she's going to bring bacteria into the vagina, and this is going to create more trouble. Right? So, remember, right, from front to back. Right? Everybody knows that, I think. Well, not everybody. But, you know, your friend is blessed to have you. Okay. So, Lori says, how can a woman lower elevated testosterone? Well, you have to balance the liver, right? Again, you know, think about doing a liver cleanse. Get in the hands of a Chinese medicine practitioner, you know, so they could, you know, balance out your organ systems. But, you know, you have, again, anytime that there's any hormone stuff going on, any, male, female, you got to look to the liver. What's happening in the liver that it's not processing the hormones? It's not, you know, getting the cholesterol needed to build the hormones. You know, like, what's going on? Because the liver produces the cholesterol to build all your fat-soluble hormones, right? Okay. Judy says, I need some natural products for diabetes and thyroid. I don't know any specific products. This is more diet and lifestyle overall. So, you know, like I had this one little product here for bitters, right? But I don't have any specific products for diabetes, hypothyroid conditions, but you have to balance your endocrine system, right? Because the pancreas and the thyroid both live on the endocrine system, so there's an endocrine imbalance happening. So you want to get your endocrine disruptors out of the diet. You want to probably put in some good quality phytoestrogens, whether those are beans or red clover or something like that, to help balance your system. You want to exercise for sure. Good quality exercise. There's a lot you can do. Daniel, thanks for sharing my video. Etsy says, how can a man heal testosterone levels to go up? Because wife is suffering. Oh, that's so funny. And liver is weak. Okay, yeah, so again, we're looking at the liver, right? We're looking at the liver here. And he has sleep apnea, even though he has his deviated septum fixed. Okay, so we want to look at the liver and see what's happening with the liver. So it's not going to show up on a blood test, but there's some congestion there. You want to make sure that he's getting good quality, you know, saw palmetto. I would say you can't have it in tea. But there's also like chaste, no, not chaste, we're not going to use chaste tree. But you want to make sure that his liver is getting the love that it needs so that he could, and also the good quality fats. You want to make sure he's getting good quality fats. And, you know, it's interesting, you said his liver is weak and he has sleep apnea. So these are all problems, right? He's not getting the oxygen that he needs at night. Oh, actually, if he's not getting the oxygen, what time is it? Oh my gosh, I got 6 minutes. If he's not getting the oxygen that he needs at night, you have to look at the kidneys, because the kidneys are doing a couple of things. They're doing a lot of things, actually. But energetically, the kidneys, when the kidneys are strong, you can take a breath. You take a breath into the lungs, and the kidneys will pull the air all the way into the body, right? It's really part of that kidney strength, that life force. And guess what? The kidneys also feed the liver. So, rather than focusing on the weak liver, although you would probably do well with a liver cleanse, a nice little liver cleanse or something like that, I would support the kidneys, right, so that the kidneys have the strength to pull the breath down into the body, so that it's not good to have the sleep apnea. The stopping breathing while he's sleeping is always a problem, right? You had this fixed, it hasn't done anything, right? So that means it's really not have to do with this. So you got to go deeper. You got to go into the body. Oh, thanks, Judith. Let's see. Mia says you're a cutie pie, Mia. Thanks, Karen. Little kisses to you too. Mia Russo, you mentioned medicine making class. Do you have one to recommend? Oh, well, I think of medicine as anything that happens in your kitchen. You could even do it outside, right? So I have some medicine making classes in the form of cooking classes where we cook food and then put herbs and stuff like that. But there are lots of medicine making classes, like you could look online for like herbal medicine making. There's a ton of them, like Rosemary Gladstar. I mean, like there's so many. I can't even mention. My friend Karen, who's here, she put a little kiss in. She does medicine making at the Whole Foods in Massachusetts, right? So you can find them. Just look for them. Look for them in your area. Look for herbal medicine. Look for cooking as medicine, right? All that stuff will bring you to where you need to go. Let's see. Oh, thanks, Lee. She says I look good in pink. I paid extra money so that it's called salmon. I paid a little extra money because pink is, passé, but salmon, extra dollars for that. Christina says, Hep B active for my mother-in-law. Recommendations, please. Yes. All of the shiitake mushrooms, maitake mushrooms, these are fantastic for your mother-in-law. And also, I think I gave those recommendations. You're in the New Healers Master Coaching Program. So check in with Stephanie because we sent out those recommendations 2 weeks ago. So any of the shiitake mushroom, maitake mushrooms, any of the medicinal mushrooms, again, support liver. So like milk thistle, classic. That's a classic for supporting liver. Clearing liver, you want to use dandelion, right? Dandelion root. Dandelion leaf is more for the kidneys, right? But those would be great. Thanks, Mary. Okay, Gisem, hormonal advice. We're looking liver. You got to do a liver cleanse. I just happen to have a liver cleanse class coming up next month on Learn It Live. You go to my website and it's there. So you go to AndreaBeeman.com and you look up upcoming events and classes, and I got a whole bunch of stuff. I got liver cleanse webinar. I got a liver health cooking class. I got all that stuff because this is liver time, right? The springtime is liver time. Don't get me started. Springtime is liver time, like naturally your body will start to cleanse at this time of year. And you may find it in allergies that pop up magically, or you get all stiff in your neck, or gosh, what happens? What else happens? Oh, anger, rah, 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 right? It's quick to snap. That the liver needs a good cleanse. So this time of year, you'll have all this stuff coming up, and that's a sure sign that you need a liver cleanse, right? Or you need to really support your liver in a lot of ways. Okay, so Karen says, having my period every 2 weeks. Oh, let me see that. My period every 2 weeks. Can you tell me what's going on? I have a 2.5-year-old and not sleeping. Okay, Karen, so I don't know what's going on. I can't give you medical advice, but when somebody has their period every 2 weeks, you got to look for fibroids. And if you have fibroids, you got to do a lot of stuff to help tone and tighten, and also with bleeding every 2 weeks, there's a possibility you're going to be anemic. So get checked out by a gynecologist and see what's going on in there, right? Check it out and then make the adjustments. You could either make the adjustments dietarily, you can make the adjustments with herbs. There's a lot of things that you could do. I remember there was a remedy I I used a long time ago when I first got started. I had a client that was bleeding all the time. She had fibroids, huge fibroids. She was bleeding all the time. And it was an old macrobiotic remedy. And it was to take seaweed, kombu seaweed, right, and put it into the oven and roast it until it was crispy and then grind it into a powder and drink it. I can't even imagine how horrible that tasted, right? Just seaweed powder in water, hot water drink, but it stopped her bleeding, right? Because it did a couple of things. It supported her liver. Seaweed is wonderful for supporting the liver. It supported her kidneys, and it supported her lymphatic system, right? All the things that you need when you have that excessive bleeding and fibroids. Okay. Let's see. Teresa says, I have Hashimoto's and IBS. What should I do? Well, you got to heal the IBS, right? So the Hashimoto's is generally connected to that digestive system, right? Not functioning well. So you got to heal that. So it's 2:00. And I know there's more stuff coming in, more questions coming in, but I gotta close this up, right? So for those of you that got your answer, your questions came in through my website. Of course, I answered those first. You could find that Ask Andrea on the sidebar of my website. You go to AndreaBeeman.com and you put into the bar on the website, and I'll get to it. We'll have another one next month. I know it's a long time to wait, but, I got in between this time. Right? I got classes, I got webinars, I got so much. For those of you that are struggling with thyroid stuff, I have my Nourishing Thyroid program. It starts next week. It's a 4-month program. It's awesome. You're going to learn about liver health, digestive health, adrenal health, everything that you need to know to help to support the thyroid. Because like I said earlier, it's not the thyroid. We're blaming the thyroid, blame it for the hair loss, blame it for this and that and the other thing. It's that the whole system is out of balance, and when you get your body more balanced, then it'll start to heal, right? Not the other way around. Not focus on the thyroid, right? And then that's why it doesn't work, right? You want to focus on the entire system, the endocrine system, your adrenals. You want to focus on your digestive system. You want to focus on your liver health, your kidneys. You want to focus on everything. Relaxing, learning how to de-stress. My gosh. Lord, we could talk for days about this stuff. But anyway, thank you for coming out. Thank you for staying with me for an hour and sharing this time, letting me answer your questions, because I love that stuff. So have a great weekend, and I'll see you next time. Thanks, everybody.